are in listen-only mode.
Hello and welcome to the IDX Broker original webinar. Today we're going to walk you through IDX Broker examples, and we're going to take a look at some example sites. And also, if we have time, we'll take a look at the IDX control panel. Working on, it sounds like there's maybe some audio issues. Please post in the questions area if you're having any audio issues. It may be on my end, but I don't think so. It could be a connection issue. So anyway, great. So we've got people in the webinar can hear me fine. Good. We'll go ahead and go forward with this. And so I'll start with the introduction here. And my name is Luke Walsh. I've been with the company for about 4 years, and the company has been in business for about 9 years. And so we've been around for a long time, as many of you may or may not know. And then also joining us for questions during the webinar is Alex Lewis. Now, Alex is currently lead for our developers group, and he's been with us for about 2 years. Alex has extensive webinar experience. Will be assisting. He'll be addressing your technical and other questions in the questions chat box. So if you have any questions, please definitely post those in the chat box. I'll try to, I may
Unmuted.
I may respond with in the forum here. If you have any questions that you want to just have addressed after the fact, then we'll go forward with that. So again, it sounds like audio is okay. I've got people that are confirming that audio is good. Please again let me know if you can't hear me, and I'll work on just speaking up a little louder. On my end, the audio, mic, and speaker seems to be showing okay. So we'll go ahead and go forward. So again, the webinar, as with other webinars, the webinar is going to be recorded, and so we'll post the webinar to the YouTube channel, and you'll be able to get that link in an email after the webinar is over. You'll be able to review the webinar. It'll be in HD. And usually pretty high quality, so and then you can jump around and kind of go to whatever section you're interested in. That email usually goes out within a day or two, so after the webinar you'll get an email from webinars at IDX Broker, and in it will be the link to that. Again, if you have any technical issues, you can post those into the questions tab, but keep in mind that we have to keep the webinar moving and keep things going. So we have a lot of great content to talk about today, and so we'll need to move it, keep it fast-paced. Now, if you'd like to have us cover a specific tab within the control panel during the webinar, please send us a message in the chat, and we'll try to cover that at the end of the webinar. We'll do our best to review that tab or any questions you may have around that tab, and then you may just want to wait until the end of the webinar to post those questions. So again, I'm getting some technical feedback in the questions area. Our video is working, and it sounds like audio is working for quite a few people. So we should be good to go. Again, if you're having technical issues and it doesn't seem to be getting resolved, go ahead and you may just want to review the webinar after the fact in the video, or excuse me, in YouTube. So in today's webinar, we're going to take a look at some of the original IDX Broker original clients and what they've done, some of the examples that we use on our website, and then also how they've integrated IDX Broker into their websites for maximum effect. So the goal is to really help you get a better understanding for what can be done with IDX Broker Original, and how you can take it to the next level. So before we get started, I want to talk briefly about our new website and also the new IDX Broker Platinum product that was launched out of beta in June. Now, this product, while not covered in this webinar, is available to you with no setup fee required. As a courtesy, we'll provide the link in the follow-up email that contains the webinar. That'll contain details about how to migrate, if you decide you want to do that, your original account over to Platinum. I would just note that Platinum is built on a different platform and system, And so moving to the product is similar to moving to an entirely new IDX solution. And we can do our best, we'll do our best to make that process as painless as possible. But certain features like widgets can't be ported over directly to the new product. So those are things that you would have to recreate and so on. But this webinar, as I said, this webinar is about IDX Broker Original. And I think you'll be impressed with what can be done with IDX Broker Original. And of course, there is a price difference between the two products. And IDX Broker Original is $39.99 and IDX Broker Platinum $59.99 a month. That's the starting price. Of course, with Office packages, it goes up from there. So, in taking a look at really the first website that I want to use as an example, I want to focus on one thing, and that's SEO. That is the SEO or the benefits of creating a website that is going to be SEO friendly, and just some of the things that can be done to make a website more SEO friendly. Now, here in this case we have the example here is halja.com, and this is a site that this client has been with us for a very long time. They've done just an excellent job over time of creating many links on their homepage that then get crawled. And as you can see, if I scroll down here, I hit Boca Raton Homes for Sale or Luxury Homes, and these are all links. These are all special custom links that are going to get crawled. They're on the home page. In addition, there's a lot of links, contextual links here. So just great use of SEO practices here with this site. All the links in the footer. Also has a lot of other websites down here posted at the bottom. And of course, featured properties. This is more for usability and less for the search engines, since traditionally this is the widget and the widgets don't get crawled. Although Google has changed that to some degree over time. I think last year at PubCon, Matt Cutts, who represents Google to the webmaster community, stated that Google has gotten a lot better at indexing JavaScript, so taking links out of JavaScript. So some of these widgets that used to be not indexable are now becoming more indexable. So adding a widget to your page is not necessarily a bad thing from an indexing standpoint, and over time it should pay off. Now here we have, of course, the quick search, and then there's a link to an advanced search, and then in here they've got he's got set up is different pages. So he's created just a certain number of pages, neighborhood pages, area pages, and then each area page is customized similar to the home page. So the home page, this page basically will have all the pages for Deerfield Beach, or all the properties for Deerfield Beach, and all the links, and then those get crawled as well. Now this is his own page, but then if you click on something like homes for sale, now this will go directly to the results page, which has been CSS styled up a little bit. But that results page is hosted with IDX Broker. Okay, so that page itself is IDX Broker, but if you go back, he's got the page that talks about it is here. This page gets indexed, and then Google takes a look at this page and says, oh, there's all kinds of links in there, and then indexes those IDX Broker pages. And as you can see here, we go here up in the navigation here, the URL area, you'll see home.halja.com. So there's a couple different ways to handle the domaining subdomain with IDX Broker. We could provide a default subdomain, which is typically it's going to be your domain name. Like this would be, his default would be halja.idxco.com, and then everything beyond that is created. This is created by the system, and then this looks like a custom link. Actually, this may be a city link that he pulled from our city links page. We provide a city links page that automatically breaks down the cities. So you can just pull that link, and then it's got the keywords in the URL. So in his case, though, what he's done is he's created a subdomain, a custom subdomain. So rather than use our standard subdomain of IDX Co, he's created a custom subdomain of home.holger.com. Now that's pretty straightforward. It's easy to do with do a search in our knowledge base, and it'll tell you how to do it. You set it up with GoDaddy, and you just set up create a subdomain with GoDaddy. I don't think they charge you anything additional for that, and a subdomain for your primary domain, and then you point that to idxco.com basically. And again, our knowledge base has some good content on how to do that. And then if you have any questions, you could always email webinars at IDX Broker as well. So here we've got a subdomain, and so what's happened here is we've got if you do a search on, and I don't know how many of you are familiar with the search and Google and how to find your site URL pages or site page, the URLs indexed, but this is how you do it. So you put in site, you go to Google, type in site, colon, and then put in your primary domain. Now in this case, you can see that he has a primary domain here, www. That's considered, it's actually not a primary domain. www is considered a subdomain, but it is his root site, right? So this will list the number of pages indexed to on his root site. Okay. Now if I take the primary domain, which is not a subdomain, and then I do a search, and I do a site search. Now you can see that www was originally it was 8. Now this combines both. So as you can see, this takes the 8. So you'll see that here is the main primary domain that shows up at the top. There's a sitemap. Log in. He's created his own sitemap. And then down here, you'll see the IDX pages showing up. So all these IDX pages are creating more links in the search engines. And so he, with IDX Broker and time and setting up SEO correctly, he has acquired 98 or pushed out 98,800 results, okay, into Google. That's with a grand total of about, I believe, 8 pages that he created for his for his neighborhoods or areas. All the other pages are the index pages are coming directly from these IDX pages. Okay, so that's the power of SEO and the power of getting doing things correctly, setting up your site and especially your home page with a lot of good links, setting up a good custom subdomain. Just a great way to leverage the SEO functionality within IDX Broker. Now there's some other functions that you can do or things that you can do with SEO. You can create custom links that you could create really any number of custom links, custom map links. It looks like here he's got short sales, so here's a good example of a custom link. IDX Broker lets you perform a search in the system, in the control panel, and some of you may be familiar with this, and then save that and then name it something, whatever you want. Now you can also add a subheader in here if you'd like, whatever you'd like. So that's the SEO aspect and content. And we are getting a lot of questions. Just as a reminder, we are getting a lot of questions from people who have to jump out of the meeting or jump out of the webinar, attend a meeting, whatever. Yes, the webinar is being recorded now, and so it'll be available on YouTube after the fact. So it should be available within a day or two, and we'll send an email to you to that effect. So the next topic I want to cover is design and usability. Really, why your homepage matters and why advertising either the mobile-friendly CSS in the case of Platinum, actually in the case of IDX Broker Original as well, with the proper CSS, you can make it fairly mobile-friendly, and the mobile app functionality within IDX Broker Original. So, quick search and a kind of a portal look. So I'm going to cover that here with Minior Real Estate. This is a great example of just keeping things clean. good solid CSS integration, creating almost a portal look to the front, the main search. You know, it's just, hey, here, hit the search, move on. They've created a little link here. So you go here, it'll go straight to the map search. And then, as you can see on the map search, they've even done some customization in terms of, you know, in terms of coloring making this directional match the site. Just some really good CSS integration that can help with usability. And of course, they've widened their map search as well. So a lot that can be done. And really, you know, this kind of stuff with IDX Broker, it shouldn't take a good developer that long to you know, apply an update like this and make these type of changes. They're really, you know, it's CSS. You find the element, you know, change the color or change the location, and you're done. So this is a great example of a client that has been able to do that. And something else that they've done in terms of usability is on the home page they talk directly about mobile search. So they go, you know, it's straight to the mobile search. And then not only that, but they tell you, hey, get the app. Here's how you get the app, and highlighted that, and then talks a little bit about my agent, you know, or an action item here, and then here's the action that needs to be taken. So get the app, enter 7143. Notice the size of the font here and the size of the font here. Just a really good way to take that marketing to the next level. Unfortunately, it looks like the tweets aren't loading, but that's another, you know, that would be something else that would be a nice addition. Not IDX related, but definitely usability related. Now down here we have got a rounded corner little slideshow, and this is going through probably their featured properties. And it could really go through anything. It could go through not just their featured properties, but it could go through any properties that they want to promote. So, and then up here you can see. By the way, this is great here, right here. This little quote just really draws people in and builds trust right away. Up here you've got email address and password. They've customized this. This is the login form. So they've created a nice little drop shadow here for this. They've customized the button, and they've just taken the login form and you know, put it up here at the top of the page, so that people that may have saved searches or saved properties, they can come back in and log in here. So, and of course, easy to find password in case they forgot their password. So really just good use of space, good use of white space, and just a real friendly design. So the next topic that I want to take a look at is WordPress, and we'll take a look here at South Walton Luxury Homes. So this is a WordPress theme, and it's based on Genesis. It's actually not their standard AgentPress theme. It's a lifestyle theme. So it's a different theme than the standard AgentPress theme. And what we have here is they've taken the kind of the standard layout for these templates. They've just customized it a little bit. They put first level of navigation here. They've got advanced search, and then they've got listing ID number, search by address, and then we have two advanced searches here. But and then you have Google Map search, and the contact form. They're linking to the contact form provided by IDX Broker, and the advantage of that is that then you're getting all the leads into one system. So you can, when people post or somebody comes in and they want to contact you about something, it's going to go into IDX Broker, and then from there you'll be able to save. Let's say you know that they want information about a specific property or a specific area. You can log into IDX Broker and then save a search, and then 2 days later they get an email update from you that's branded that says, hey, here's here's the latest property that matches the search criteria that you've set up. Or I've set up search criteria for you, and let me know if I can help, or if you need that search criteria changed in any way. And that kind of puts it in their hand and makes it more of a passive marketing campaign versus a more active campaign, or a slightly more in-your-face campaign of sending out emails frequently that don't have that relevant content in them, or at least immediate content. You know, if somebody's looking for a home and they see a listing that may match, they're going to click on it, and they may or may not contact you, and that's okay. You know, in some cases that's okay. They may eventually contact you because you've got them engaged, and you're taking on more of a passive approach and building that trust with them. So, you know, and all that is just done from doing little things like adding the contact form, the IDX contact form, and then going in and just spending, you know, once a week, go in and look at maybe their traffic history, what they looked at, and then applying a saved search or saving a property and then sending them an email, you know, about the saved property. Now, just to be clear, IDX Broker doesn't send emails on demand like that, so you would have to send the email outside of IDX Broker, but you could get the link and just send it and say, hey, look, I saved this property. You know, would you like to check it out? So, you know, we have some other pages here. They've created their own pages here, and then they have a second level navigation where they've created their own, you know, luxury homes page. They've got, you know, Alice Beach, Rosemary Beach. They've built these pages, you know, specifically to have all these links in them. Now, if I back up, let's take a look here. Yeah. So I want to give you an example of what this client is doing that's just right, and the way that they've taken WordPress and integrated IDX Broker into WordPress in a way that makes a lot of sense. We get a lot of questions like, hey, you know, I really want you know, WordPress to be displaying things, you know, somehow in my blog, and that, you know, that's great, but the problem is that when you do that, you're sacrificing a lot of other things in the process. Our whole system is able to track, you know, all the details, and you can set up lead capture on the IDX Broker pages, and so having those hosted on IDX Broker is really helpful. And so what we recommend is that you take a kind of a hybrid approach where you're taking, you know, you take a page like this, like the Water Sounds Passages, luxury home, you know, 8 Shingle Lane. In this case, they're creating one page, and or you know, a page for an area, and then they've got a lot of great and unique content in here. And of course, you know, all the search engines love WordPress, so if you do this in WordPress, you're going to get some good SEO benefit. But down here they put, you know, links to results. So 8 Shingle Lane, and this is a post. This is going to be, it could be a post or it could be a page in WordPress. And then you have 8 Shingle Lane, you have Water Sound Homes for sale, and as you can see, this is a custom link right here. So this goes directly to Water Sound Luxury Home Search with a custom subdomain up at the top. So we're back to the SEO benefits, of course. SEO being you know, pretty important for most people. Search.South Luxury Homes. That's their custom domain they set up. And then up here they have Water Sound Homes, and they've created a custom search. Now it has the keyword in it, keywords they want. And then up here they have, in the subheader, they've entered their own content right above the results navigation. So they've got their own content here, and looks like somebody lost sound. Okay, but I can see that the sound is still working, so we're still good. It's going to happen on some of these for some reason, unfortunately. But like I said, if you've lost sound or you've lost video for some reason, probably because of a connection on your end, then you know, our YouTube channel will contain this video. We'll have the whole video and should have all the sound and video built in, and so you can review it on your own time. So back to this one, we've got the subheader, and then down here, of course, all the results. Now these results get updated every day, And so each day these are going to be new links, or they may stay the same if they stay on the market. But this page, this results page, becomes dynamic, and so Google will look at that, and Bing, and and Yahoo, and they'll come back and say, the search engines will say, oh, okay, this has changed a couple times in the last couple weeks. Let's keep crawling this. Let's keep an eye on this page. And then that really is how that helps you get indexed better, because you're getting more of these results pages indexed. Now you have to go in and create these custom results pages, but that's okay, because that's the whole point. You don't. I know that there are scenarios where you can get a whole bunch of custom links that are sort of pre-created for you, and that's great. We provide that same thing actually with with the custom links in terms of with our city pages. We offer a lot of cities that have predefined custom links, and they have the cities in the URL and so on. And I showed you Halja has that, links to a lot of those, and those are great. You should link to all those. But the custom links where you can create content, you're building content and adding custom content, those will most likely rank higher because they're unique. They look different. They don't look like every other every other link that the search engine looks at. It's going to have that different content, that unique content that helps you. So yeah, so this is a good example of what can be done with WordPress. And of course, they've got their blog, set up here. And with WordPress, I would recommend, really setting up a blog that where you talk about properties, and then you link to active listings. You link to an area. You link to whatever you need, and then use the keywords that you want to use. So with blog content, if you're publishing on your blog, it looks like this one kind of slowed down a little bit, but if you're publishing, and you're publishing 5 to 10 times a month even on your blog, and you're publishing about forest but certain areas, and then you're linking to that area, maybe in the prices even, you're linking to those prices, those pages are going to get gobbled up over time. And Google especially loves the fresh content. So if you maintain, and that's one of the advantages of WordPress, if you maintain that that blog alongside of the site, along with the site, then you're really going to benefit from having having that new content in there. It's going to really help you on the SEO side of things. So yeah, and then the last topic before I get into I'll talk a little bit about the control panel, and we can look into the control panel a bit. The as far as customization in IDX, and why customization can just work wonders and really take the site to the next level. In this case, here's a good example, and we've looked at some that have done their own customization. Miniar is a good example of, they've done a lot of customization here. But I wanted to highlight this one as well. And they've done a good job of just kind of keeping the theme clean. And what they've customized here is this search. They've done the quick search, and they've taken the quick search, essentially a quick search widget, out of the box, and then they've customized everything about it. So they've customized the the background, the button, the link, and then they've even made it expand across the width of the page. And these are things where if you really want to take it to the next level, I recommend talking to a developer with one of our developers in the developer network. They do a great job of doing some of these things. And if you're already with the developer, talk to them about, hey, how can I get this set up? Now, it's important to keep in mind that when you're doing an integration, or when you're building it, asking for CSS changes, it's going to require work. It's going to require some investment on your part. But the payoff is that you end up with a site that could be more SEO friendly, definitely more usable, and that can help you really generate more business and be more of a sales and marketing tool for you overall. So, and that's the whole point of having IDX on the site, is integrating it well, not just plugging it in and letting it sit, but really integrating it well so that it's all part of the same experience. And that's really what we try to deliver for clients is, hey, look, this is what you can do with an integrated IDX, and it's so far beyond the sort of just plug it in and let it sit, and just because it's there. It's really important, just like in the marketplace, in your area where you focus. It's really important to differentiate yourself, and so IDX can really help you with that, and especially an integrated IDX solution. So I see that there are quite a few questions coming in here, and actually I'll address some of these questions just so we're clear on things. So I have a question about the SEO here. So since we covered SEO quite a bit, and the question is the underscore and the dash, and that Google bots, and we deal with this quite a bit, where there isn't one central repository where you can find all of the facts about SEO. Although Google's own Webmaster Tools page is a great place to start, but that's one area where, just to address this issue, the question is about underscores versus dashes, and whether there's a big difference. Google has said that there really is no difference, except that that in some cases, they would just recommend, if you're starting from new links, that you could work with dashes rather than underscores. And when I say underscores, I mean the separation of links. So here you have Boynton Beach homes for rent. This is an example where Google didn't penalize this client at all for underscores, and it really isn't a big deal. I think sometimes those things get sort of blown out of proportion, and especially in this market, people will talk to people and hear something about how this doesn't work or this does work. We try to do our very best to make sure we're accurate and about what we tell clients, and we're always, in this case, like I said, Google has stated that they do prefer the dash, but they're not going to penalize you for having the underscore. So just to clarify on that issue. Now, with that said, in Platinum you can do both, so you have the option of doing both. So let's see. We have I'll pick off a couple others here before moving on to the dashboard. So, can you language customization? We do get that question quite a bit. So for search fields, can we customize different language? That's not possible. It's not possible to do the customization for the language customization. But you could use a Google Translate or link people to Google Translate, and then somehow have that perform some level of customization, language customization. With that said, we do have excuse me, in Platinum we have localized, but only to Canada. So we've localized in Canada, and Platinum allows for anybody in Canada is able to get Platinum. Unfortunately, in Original we're not able to do that. So let's see, what do we have? Multiple addresses, community with multiple addresses on one results page. That sounds like a very technical issue. So if you have let's say you built a community page, and you want more than one address, you should be able to get those on the results page. But that would be something that we probably want to take offline and figure out, because it may be a specific to your MLS data set. A lot of times an issue can be very specific to a data set, and so it needs to be resolved there. So in Original, just to confirm with people, in Original, yes, it forces the underscore. There's no way to do a dash, but again, it doesn't, as you can see from Halja, it's not going to matter that much. Now, if you decide that you want to go with Platinum, that would be an option for you in Platinum. So, some good questions here. And then there's also a question about SEO and Platinum. Okay, so I'll address this quickly. I wanted to focus mostly on IDX Broker Original, but I will talk a little bit about Platinum. It does have some additional functionality on the SEO side. The details pages are contain actually they can contain whatever you want. They're very similar to the title tags that you can set up in IDX Broker Original. So with title tags, you can you can set up a dynamic variable that's the, let's say it's the property address and then the subdivision, and you can add that to the title tag. You can do that same thing in Platinum, but with the URL itself. So that's probably the biggest change on the Platinum side. And then I have another question related to Platinum. If I upgrade to Platinum, do I have to rewrite all of my links and searches? No, you don't. The only thing you have to redo is really you do have to redo your links, so you would have to recreate your links. But you have to, I should amend that. You just have to replace the core, the basic links, because the names have changed for those URLs. Your custom links would all be ported over. So, and then we also do a 301 redirect from those custom links over to the new. So it's not like moving to a completely different product, but you would have to recreate the widgets and then recreate the or replace some of the custom links. In some way, for most people, that would just be a search and replace on your website, HTML, to get that out. So we try to make it as seamless as possible. And then also there's a 30-day window, so you have 30 days where both products are available, and so that gives you some time to migrate over if you decide to do that. Yeah, so the remaining questions here I do have a question. There is a question here about Platinum Webinar. Will we have a Platinum Webinar? We actually do have a Platinum Webinar, but right now it's set up for developers only. But we will probably create a new one and get a new or create a new webinar series specifically for Platinum for people that are curious about that. So if you have more questions about that. Also, you can check out our knowledge base. I would check out our knowledge base on our new site. You'll see some good stuff on there. There's also a link to a kind of a walkthrough, a brief walkthrough intro of Platinum. So yeah, with that, so now that we're kind of beyond some of the questions, and again, keep those questions coming. They're great. I want to talk a little bit about the dashboard and really some of the topics that I talked about, and how to get the how to get the dashboard, how to get the most from the dashboard, since we have some extra time here. And one of the most important things, and this is back to the SEO piece, is being able to create a kind of a custom SEO title text and dynamic meta tags. So creating tags that are, like in this case, let's say you definitely want those results pages to show things like neighborhood, or here we go. I'll put neighborhood in here, and that's a dynamic tag. So it's got the little brackets there, and then I can save the changes, and it'll save those changes with the and display the neighborhood the next time that one of those details pages shows up or is crawled. And these title tags and meta descriptions, the title tag is typically what's used in Google in the results. So like this would be called a title tag here. Okay, so you can customize that for details pages so that it shows the the address. And then down here, this is the meta description. So that's the meta description. So the better verbiage or language you can use there, and the more relevant it is, the more likely it is that will be clicked on. And then when Google looks at those clicks, they compare clicks and they see, oh, that click-through rate, the click-through rate went up on that because it's slightly different, or they may not care why it went up, but it went up because you tweaked it. And now it's going to be, and then it's going to be ranked higher. And so these are the sort of things that are important to kind of getting that going with the SEO. Now the other thing from an SEO standpoint that I would look at is really taking going to the subdomain, account management, and domain control, and go in there and under standard subdomain, you can create a custom subdomain. And there's a knowledge base article that talks about how to set up that custom subdomain. So pretty powerful tool here, having the custom subdomain as an option, because you can set it up under your own domain, and then basically both domains end up getting credit for those. So one of the other things, the other tab that I want to cover is this this portal, or excuse me, preferences, not portal. So the preferences tab allows you to upload your logo, and if you don't have that uploaded, I would recommend just getting in there and doing that right away, because, and especially this one, this is the 100 by 50 logo. This one shows up in the mobile app, so it'll show up there, and that is again, to those that had questions about Platinum versus Original. In IDX Broker Original, the mobile app, you have the mobile app for iOS devices. In Platinum, it's changed, and so it's strictly designed to be responsive. So we've recreated mobile wrappers for that mimic that sort of experience, that mobile experience. But you do give up that mobile app in the store, that My Agent app, when you move to Platinum. So Platinum's a little bit different in that regard. But you're also kind of on the cutting edge of what's happening with mobile. And so you can turn those wrappers on, or if you get a website that's fully mobile responsive, you can turn them off and then have your designer really customize them well. So it creates a little more flexibility. But again, that's one of the, to address those questions about Platinum, that's one of the things that's different. So here we have, again, back to the preferences, you've got one of the other issues or things that is really important to set up is this email update option. And with the email update option, you've got from address, and then I recommend that you set up a summary of all daily mailings. So have a summary there so that you're seeing what kind of emails are going out. So that's a good segue into lead management and setting things up with lead management. So if I go here and let's say I get a new lead and I want to go view the traffic history. Now in this one it looks like I set this up manually, so that's a bad example. Typically what you would have is you would have the traffic history, and then you could come in and say, oh, they wanted something in 29 Palms, California. So I just call this 29 Palms, save search name for this lead, and I can do this all from the control panel. And as you can see, I can see today's results, or I can see all results. I can also save a property, so I can save a property for this lead, and then I can post my own notes as well. So basically, what this does, and especially this is the most useful piece, is saving these searches, because then you get those email updates going out. Now, related to that, and a lot of you may not be familiar with this piece of it, but you have page wrappers, and we'll go to, this is under page wrappers and lead pages and email updates. So some of you may not know, you've got this option to modify the wrapper and the content for the email updates. Now you can modify that, and then you can send that to yourself. So you can send those previews to yourself and see how they look, and that's really helpful in terms of giving you a sense for what people are going to experience when they open those email updates. Okay. Another feature that a lot of people don't always know about, and that I should touch on today, is the option of really modifying your advanced search page. So you can simplify it. You can you can add fields. Over here on the right hand side, there's a whole list of fields that can be added. So let's say you looked at that page and you're like, I'd love to have status or something. And let's say, in most cases, we'll put really important items like status up there. Usually this is up at the top. But things like that, you can go in here and to the right, you can just modify that, and that's under Customize, Advanced Search. And then you can also shrink these. You can decrease the size. Some other things, you can clean up the display. So let's say you have a whole bunch of, and as I said, normally we try to clean these things up, but if you want to customize this a little bit and you don't want all caps names showing up, you can tidy up casing, and that will change the casing so that you're not seeing all caps items. Okay. And then some of these things, these are rarely used, but mostly tidy up casing on that one. And then again, you can drag and drop. You can just move these around as you need and really customize that advanced search page. Now the other thing you can do is you can rename the MLS. So you can say, let's say you have a couple different MLSs on the account, and you want one to specify a certain area, or to be named after a certain area, so people aren't confused. A lot of times, of course, the visitors to your site don't always know what what carrots means. They're not going to necessarily understand that. So you could say, especially if you filtered things down, let's say the custom city list, you could say search, Southern California or something. So you can change the name, the title in that drop down, or that name, and then you can set a default as well. So one of the other big features, and again, many of you may know about this, but some of you may not, is the custom links. And I covered this a little bit earlier with what do we have? We had actually on Halja, both Halja and South Walton had a lot of custom links, and yeah, not on this page, but the custom links is where you can build. You basically get the equivalent of what's the search form that's on your main website. So you get the front end search, but it's in the back end in the control panel, and so you can do a basic search. You can use advanced search. You could even do a map search custom link, and it'll go to a map URL, and then you just zoom around, zoom in to a certain area. Let's say you want that area, and then you want a different, let's say you want a different, change the high price, low price, beds, baths, whatever. Generate the URL, and then you can even name the URL. So that becomes a custom link map search with a custom URL. And instead of having all this, which has to have the the latitude and longitude, it's called Schiller Street Homes or something. So you can give it a name, and then save that, and then that becomes a custom link for you. So pretty powerful tool there. And then once you created custom links, saved links, you can go in here and view your links and see how many times they've been viewed. You can edit the header, so you can put a subheader in there, make things unique. There's your link right there, the link name. Custom title tag and meta, so on. So there's a lot that can be done there. Let's take a look at mobile. And again, the 100 by 50 logo that is under my preferences, that's what shows up here. So I would recommend just getting. There are a lot of online editors that allow you to do that, where you can create a 100 by 50 icon, or really any size, or resize an icon and then crop it, and it's pretty easy to do. You don't really need Photoshop anymore. You can just find an online resource. It's pretty quick and easy. I recommend doing that because that gets your brand out there. And then, as I showed you on Miniar, they've done a good job here. I mean, this probably took building this out and getting these images. You can probably pull these images from Apple or wherever. It probably didn't take them more than a half an hour to build something like this. It's that extra step that really matters, and there are a lot of clients that have this available to them, but just really don't do anything with it. And having that, posting that online, and even if you were to decide to go with Platinum, you would do something similar, but it would just point to search. It would say go to mobile search, and it would go to the mobile search. Actually, you don't even have to do that, because with Platinum, you could just say now mobile friendly or something, and make it a kind of a marketing vehicle for yourself. So, but here with original, you've got the the option of the couple different widgets, and then there's a QR code here as well. So we'll go to let's go take a look at the listings. I'm getting questions here about My Agent and Android, and so My Agent and iOS especially, and just to provide some clarity there, really a lot of websites are moving more towards a responsive format, and that's with a capital R. It just means that you don't have to install anything. You're not beholden to installing anything, and those are getting closer and closer to being like apps. They, you can add an icon to your phone, and somebody clicks on it, and it can be very much like an app experience on the phone without you really doing anything but just saving a link. So, that's the direction that things are going with mobile. And so the mobile apps, while they're useful, and they may be useful for those that want to have a shelf space in the store or something. But what's eventually going to happen is you're going to have apps that are really built around just mobile pages. So you have an app in the store, but it's almost like a wrapper that works for any device, that works where it just detects the screen and resizes things. So that's kind of an answer to that Android question. That and the iOS device has just been a great marketing tool for a lot of people, and and we found that in general, I think on 80%, 70 or 80% traffic is I can get the exact stats, but it's generated by iPads and iPhones. So it's still they have a tremendous amount of market share. I know that Androids have picked up a lot of steam, and there's but that's generally worldwide versus, iOS tends to be fairly dominant. So still a great marketing tool for you. So looking here at the active listings, actually I'll cover the sold and pending, because I think a lot of times people don't log in, or they aren't aware that you can change the status, and by changing the status, you can really you can show these sold listings as they go off market on this sold page. So you've got a whole bunch of links. You're probably familiar with the account management page links area. You've got a whole bunch of links here where and including the sold pending, if I can find it. There it is. So on the sold pending, the sold pending links, this is just an unwrapped page, so it's just a demo example. But this sold pending, this shows up because it's gone off the market. It's basically left the system, and so we're looking at it like, okay, it's in your sold pending area, and then you need to go into your sold pending area and then change it from pending, from unknown, we don't know what it is, to either pending or sold. Okay. You can also do the same if you have sold or you have pending or sold listings and they're not showing up in the system. So for whatever reason they're not either in MLS, or they're not, that maybe they were sold before you got your IDX Broker account. You can come into the supplemental area and add the property there. So you can go in and change it, add the property in there and make some changes. You can upload photos and all that. So. Okay. So there's also and this is for the offices on the webinar, offices and teams. You've got the option of adding users, adding agents, and then having a bio for them. So you can create a specific bio, and then you can assign that agent to an office. Okay, you can set up your offices, assign an agent, add a thumbnail photo, and all that will be just that way. It will just create an automatically create a bio for you. So I do have a question here about just back to the listings tab, and the question is about whether listings need to be manually changed. Yes, if you have not, if you've sold, something's gone off market and it's listed under you, then you do need to come in and change the status, update the status in the sold pending area, and then that shows up on the link. Any active listings stay active, so there's no change. You don't need to make any changes to those. Those are all active, or in some cases the MLS may be active or pending with, I forget the name. It's pending with ability to sell, basically, and those would then remain active as well, and you don't need to make any changes to those. So back to the manage users offices. So here, if I put in this agent's ID, then it'll automatically pull in that agent's listings on their bio pages. And we definitely see some accounts where it's an office account or it's a team account, and they haven't set up the bio pages and they haven't set up the IDs, the membership IDs. And that's pretty important, because then somebody wants to link to that membership page or that bio page, and they can link to that bio page. The agents can also use what's called an agent header ID. So this is a little known feature. They can put this agent header ID, and you'll see here, they can point directly to your broker page, and then if let's say they don't have their own IDX system, they can point to the broker page and then have that go into the system and be assigned to that agent. So I think we've covered most of the features. I'm sure that people will have questions. We'll definitely address those questions after the webinar. There are a lot of questions coming through, so Alex is doing a great job of covering those. Again, a lot of questions you're going to think of after the webinar, maybe even after you get the link and then you review the webinar again, or for those of you that missed some of the webinar. So feel free you can send those questions to webinars@idxbroker.com, and we'll do our best to get back to you promptly, or usually have a pretty quick turnaround on the emails. If you have any questions that require talking to somebody, feel free to call our number, and we can talk. We'll talk to you about any questions or any account level issues that you may have. Our support staff is available at this number, 800-421-9668, and then also again via email. If you have a very technical question, you can even, if it's not something related to the webinar or something that didn't come up in the webinar, you could also email that just directly to help@idxbroker.com, and especially issues like data-related issues or questions around that. So with that said, thank you for attending the webinar. We've hit our time limit, and again, thank you for attending the webinar. It's great to have you, and great to have you as clients, and we'll keep you posted on new webinars. We'll keep posting those into the dashboard, so you should see those in the future. Any other webinars coming up that are related to your account, and then of course we'll follow up with the email, so you'll get the email with the link to the video, and then, as I said, a link to the IDX Broker Platinum migration knowledge base article. So thank you very much, and have a great day.